Hello everyone and welcome to F1 Challenge Career Mode Part 21. Today we are going to the circuit to Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Last season this was terrible. It was my worst race with the worst pace and I didn't finish the race and knocked off my rear wing and front wing at the end. But this time we are hoping for a better result after our second place at the British Grand Prix, as I'll now hand you over to the commentator.
Just before the free practice session begins, let's take a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. Hakkinen is leading the Drivers' Championship, but having finished fourth in the last race, he'll be hoping to go a little better and finish on the podium here at the Circuit de Catalunya. Schumacher second. Barrichello third. Well, that covers the drivers. Let's take a quick look at the constructors next. Ferrari lead the Constructors' Championship and are going for back-to-back victories here in Spain. McLaren are second. Williams are third. Located just a few kilometers to the north of Barcelona, the superb Circuit de Catalunya combines interesting selection of slow, medium and high-speed turns. This dedicated motorsports facility is a good example of modern circuit design and is highly rated by most of the teams, both as a race and testing venue.
Right, so we jump into practice and you can see here that a lazy set of 27.7. We're on very heavy fuel. We've got 128 litres on board and we go across the line to instantly beat that on 27.1, which I actually think is quite close to my qualifying time last year. But later on in the session we decided to go on low fuel and you can see that we're improving by bucket loads with 2.1 seconds up, and you can see in this sector especially I was struggling last year, but the extra downforce is really helping, especially through this right-hander. Last season it was just terrible with understeer. This season I could just about bear it. I'm still slower than the AI through it, but I'm a lot closer than I was last season. But going around the final corner, which of course is very different to today's last corner, but we go across the line, set of 23.3, which is a lot better than last year, but still not there. My teammate, you see its projected conditions is raining, so I went straight out to do my flying lap. You see that I set 24.0, which wasn't as fast as my practice time, and you can see later on I'm improving by half a second in the middle sector, and I think this might be my best lap here as we then go round on the last corner and to the line. What's the time going to be? It's going to be an improvement to 23.3. And then later on, with no fuel, we improved to a 23.2, which is just an amazing lap. Wasn't expecting it, as I'll now hand you over to the grid.
Hello there. Welcome to Spain for round 5 of the 2000 FIA Formula One World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Michael Schumacher first. Mika Hakkinen just got the edge over his teammate. He starts from second. The McLaren driver performed brilliantly in qualifying to line up third. Ralf Schumacher fourth. Eddie Irvine fifth. Rubens Barrichello sixth. Trulli seventh. Giancarlo Fisichella eighth. Heidfeld ninth. Jenson Button failed to get anywhere near the pace of his championship rival, the McLaren driver. Zonta, 11th. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, 12th. Villeneuve, 13th. Jos Verstappen, 14th. Jean Alesi, 15th. Alexander Wurz, 16th. Mika Salo, 17th. Herbert, 18th. De La Rosa, 19th. Gaston Mazzacane, 20th. Genet, 21st. Diniz, 22nd.
Right, so here we are. We lined up third on the grid. An amazing performance considering how bad our pace was. But we have the lights here for the Spanish Grand Prix. And we are as per usual with the launch control. We haven't got that good of a start, but at least we're not getting hit on the start, as it looks like we're side by side with Rubens Barrichello and Eddie Irvine has slipped through. We're going to try and fit down the inside here, squeeze Rubens Barrichello to the inside of the track, maybe have a look at Ralph. But it looks like Mika Häkkönen's hit Michael Schumacher. They've had contact and Ralf Schumacher's gone straight through. And we're trying to have a look at our teammate here. Can we get him into the end of the first sector? I don't think we can. We've got a lot of understeer and he had a better line in the first place. And then going into the end of the first sector, we're way too far back to do a dive. We've actually gone very wide. Hopefully we don't touch the grass. We just about don't, and we keep third place. But Ralf Schumacher has an amazing start there. I think that's fourth to first by the first corner. Very Alonso-esque, but this one was because of contact. And you can see here, looking at what happened to me, I went down the inside of the Jaguar, and I tried down the inside of the Williams, but Mika Häkkinen seems to have spun around Michael Schumacher, which allowed Ralf Schumacher through. And Mika Häkkinen managed to stay in second place. But we're now going to have a look from my teammate's perspective. Going down into turn 1. He goes down the inside, gets his front wing caught on the wheel and spins Michael Schumacher round. And Ralf Schumacher just sees an opportunity and goes straight through at full pelt. We now look on board with Ralf Schumacher. And you can see down into the first corner that he's holding behind. And they both had their contact. He just quickly skips through and up into lead, which he held for many laps. He held it until lap 8, in fact, where we're going to see in the top left Mika Häkkinen overtaking Ralf Schumacher. Now this is the interesting bit, because I realised I had a lot more fuel than the AI did. They were going for a much shorter stint, more equal and equal, while I was going for a heavy and light towards the end. But Ralf Schumacher, will see Mika Häkkinen overtaking him here in the replay. You can see me just popping into the background there. But I was just managing to hang on. I was slower because of my fuel, but I just about managed to hang on to the top 2 when Ralf Schumacher was leading. But after that, both of them managed to run away. Their battling was really slowing them down. And in lap 13, Ralf Schumacher pitted from second place, and we moved up into second place with the Ferraris just hanging around the back of us. They were doing that for the entire race. And then going across the line on lap 16, Mika Häkkinen's pitted. He had a bit more fuel than the others, but we went across and we took the lead, so that's pretty decent. We were setting 1:25 for almost the whole race. We're going into the pits now for our pit stop, and you can see Mika Häkkinen's only 12 seconds behind, so I don't think we're going to be able to get out of the pit lane by then without speeding. But down, we've managed to actually hold this pit speed limiter into the pits. Hopefully we can get a good stop from McLaren, because I'm not sure what happened to Ralf Schumacher, but I think he had a delay of some kind. I don't know whether it was through the pits or whether the Ferraris were overtaking him, but I noticed here that the Ferraris are actually going to overtake us. Michael Schumacher goes past, and Rubens Barrichello might even go past. They were held up behind me. I'm pretty sure they were the fastest cars on the circuit. The McLarens weren't. But looks like Rubens Barrichello's passed us. Ralf Schumacher were ahead by around 4.3 seconds. We actually extend out to 6.1. I was surprised by that, considering he was leading early on. But it seems like Michael Schumacher's pitted, so he obviously didn't have enough fuel to the end. And we passed him, and Rubens Barrichello's nearly 5 seconds up the road. And on lap 24, we've got a bit of traffic here, which is very annoying in this last sector. I was trying to avoid him because this was a very controlled race here. And Rubens Barrichello's also pitted, so we're up into second place. So it looks like we're going to get a McLaren 1-2. Which is just amazing. Now this was mainly a controlled drive, and I realised that. It may look like, if you looked at the time of the highlights, that this is going to be a DNF, but we've grabbed our second podium of the season, a McLaren 1-2, so it's a great result for the team. And after 2 second places in a row, I see no reason not to go for victory at the next Grand Prix, which I think is at Europe, or the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. But I think a pretty good race. It's pretty boring in terms of driving because it was all controlled, as I'll now hand you over to the results.
After that fantastic Spanish Grand Prix, let's take a look at the final results. Mika Häkkinen first. The McLaren driver second. Schumacher third. Barrichello fourth. Ralf Schumacher fifth. Eddie Irvine sixth.
Right, so here we have a look at the results, and you can see I finished in second place, 20 seconds behind my teammate in the end, but I did let off 2 retirements, Pedro La Rosa and Johan Trulli with clutch and electronics on the start. The Minardis are getting lapped by an extra lap compared to everyone else, every Grand Prix so far. And Eddie Irvine scores a point in his Jaguar, which is more than he can say at Ferrari.
With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship. Mika Häkkinen extends his lead at the top of the Drivers' Championship.
Yep, so up into 12 points, and we're only 3 points behind Rubens Barrichello now, who we need to hunt down next. Now we need to hope that Mika Häkkinen and Michael Schumacher get in a bit of trouble in some races so we can catch them up. But we're on the right track now, no DNFs.
McLaren regained the lead of the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari are second, whilst third place is held by Williams.
Yep, so we retake the lead in the Constructors after a 1-2 at the Spanish Grand Prix. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like if you did. I'd really like to hit 40 on this one. And I'll see you tomorrow for the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring.